Hello everyone, I am Rahul. So today we are going to deal with the second part of the second last chapter of the volume 2 of the economic survey, that is services sector. So let's move on to the first slide. So first of all, coming to the FDI in the Indian services sector. So there has been a significant growth in the FDI inflows in 2014-15 and 15-16 year in services sector in particular. So, so the high growth in services, why it has happened? It has happened in some sectors. That's why this high growth has happened. The first is computer sector and hardware. We have seen a lot of FDI growth in it. We also have seen FDI growth in the many services basket like finance, banking, insurance, non-financial outsourcing, and R&D, etc. Also, we've seen an increase in FDI in trading, for example, retail, FDI in multi-brand retail, etc. etc. So, in spite of the high negative growth of minus 61.6% in FDI equity in telecom, we still have registered a good growth in services. So, to provide simplicity in FDI policy, different kinds of foreign investments have been made fungible under one composite cap. What do we mean by that? Everybody would have read this news that FII, Foreign Institutional Investments, plus QIB, Qualified Institutional Buyer. He is an individual, these are the institutions. They both have been combined under the FPI, Foreign Portfolio Investments, and they have been given a composite cap, that is at the max you can invest this much in the Indian market. So significant FDI liberalization has taken place in a number of sectors or areas of the economy, like significant liberalization have happened in construction development, broadcasting, civil aviation, cash and carry wholesale trading, and wholesale trading in which the sourcing is done from MSME, single brand retail trading, and duty free shops, private sector banking, and credit information companies. It is like CRISIL, private sector banking, you all know HDFC, ICICI, etc. Now, single brand retail, what you can say about this single brand retail? For example, one furniture company was trying to come to India, which dealt only in furniture. So this is only a single brand, only furniture. That is called a single brand retail. Another one in wholesale retail, in which the sourcing is done from small medium or small enterprises. And then there is cash and carry wholesale trading. This is important. In cash and carry outlets, there are business to business dealing. For example, only wholesale traders who fill their sales tax certificates can shop in this cash and carry trading. So this joint venture is made, and it is seen that that joint venture sells to the neighborhood stores, fruit vendors, vegetable sellers, hotels and restaurants. That is not the final consumer but the intermediary, that is business to business. Then we have civil aviation. You all know they had been liberalized. Then we have you have also seen the some headlines like new airline has come. I don't exactly remember the name. It is with the Singapore Airlines, something like that, with Tata and all. They have made alliances with other airlines. How they have made the alliances? It is because of liberalization of FDI. Also, we have broadcasting FDI liberalization. Like many foreign channels can come now and take part in Indian media. Also construction, not media, broadcasting per se. And construction development, the many companies from outside can come and help in the building of many huge office spaces, buildings and factories. So let's move ahead. Now coming to the India's services trade. Now India is the 8th largest service exporter in the world, and the share of India's services to the total of services exports is at 3.2% of the world. That is, if 100 rupees is exported throughout the world, 3.2 rupees of services is exported from India. But if you talk about the merchandise, that is from the manufacturing, we only export 1.7 rupees out of 100 rupees in the world. That is, whatever is exported manufactured items, 1.7 rupees manufactured items are exported by India. Now there are certain global conditions and weak external demand that is hampering India's service exports, as it is hampering the manufacturing. So let's move ahead. Now, what are the government's policy initiatives to promote the services exports? First of all, government has started the services export from India scheme, and it helps in increasing the exports of some list of services. Also, government is organizing various exhibitions to show what kind of services India has. It is also organizing or what to say to it is establishing services conclaves, which will help in augmenting export of services, so that India becomes a leader in the provision of services. Also, some initiatives in the tourism and shipping services has been taken by the government. So coming to the WTO service negotiations and bilateral negotiations. In WTO negotiations, these negotiations happened last time in the 10th session of WTO Ministerial Conference, which was held in Nairobi, Kenya. You should remember that it happened in Nairobi, Kenya. It can be asked in the pre-exam. So, what decision did it took? In the areas of services trade, what this decision they took is, first is they implemented a preferential treatment in the favor of services and services suppliers in least developed countries, which are very poor countries. They have been given preference rather than some other developed or developing nations, right? So so that their market can develop. The next point is increasing low income or least developed countries in the participation in the services trade. The third one is moratorium. Moratorium is temporary ban on the payments of custom duties on electronic transmissions until 2017. Now, this electronic transmission is a new area of trade which involves goods crossing borders electronically. Broadly speaking, this is the production, advertising, sale and distribution of products via telecommunication networks. For example, books, music, videos are transmitted through telephone lines or through the internet. So, this moratorium or temporary ban has been placed on the payments of custom duties. That is, when these are exported to some other country, no duty will be levied till 2017. So what steps India has taken with regard to these decisions in the Nairobi conference is, first of all, Article 16 of GATT or General Agreement of Trade and Services India has provided market access to the low income countries or least developed countries. Also, technical assistance and capacity building has been provided by India to these least developed countries. The third one is the waiver of visa fees for these countries' services exporters for Indian business and employment visas. Now, this fee waiver will be valid till 2030, and India is the only member which has offered this fee waiver. Fine, because no decision has been taken yet in the WTO conference on the visa issue, but India has still given this. So coming to the bilateral agreements. Now these bilateral agreements have been signed with various countries and also in the process of engagement and discussion. So first of all, India has signed comprehensive bilateral trade agreement with Singapore, South Korea, Japan, and Malaysia. Comprehensive means it include manufacturing items, services, and whatnot, agricultural exports. Everything is included in the comprehensive bilateral trade agreements. Second one is the FTA, or Free Trade Agreement in Services and Investment, is signed with the ASEAN countries in September 2014 and came in effect in 2015 July. Third one is India has joined the RCEP plurilateral negotiations. Bilateral is between two countries, plurilateral is between many countries. So RCEP, or Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, includes 10 Asian countries, ASEAN, not Asian, ASEAN countries, and its 6 FTA partners. The 6 FTA partners are Australia, China, India, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, etc. Not etc. These 6 are along with the 10 ASEAN countries. Fine. So sector-wise performance of services, if we see, what do we see? There is healthy rise in the sales of health services segment in the first 2 quarters of the past year, though profits declined on the account of professional fees of doctors and rent. Like big hospitals like Apollo Hospital, what do? They take the services of doctors and then further provide services to the patients. So doctors charge rent or professional fees. Also there is a rent for a place where they are set up. So these decrease the profits. Also, performance of Indian aviation industry has improved, obviously, because the crude oil price has decreased, and hence there is fall in price of aviation fuel also. And aviation fuel comprises 40% of the operating expenses of airlines in India, and hence they have given a big relief to the aviation sector. Now, there has been muted or very less order inflows and a stretched financial position, which has impacted the execution or implementation of many construction projects by the various construction companies. Now, why there is muted order inflows? Because the demand have lessened and property sector has declined and the supply is more. Also there is stretched financial position because the construction sector is not able to get lot of loans, as it has there is lot of NPAs in the banks. Also there is lower margins in the infrastructure sector, which have impacted in the profit margins of the construction companies. So coming to the next services, that is tourism, which also includes the medical tourism. Now, what advantages tourism provides? Tourism is the major engine of economic growth. Firstly, it provides economic growth. Second, foreign exchange we earn through tourism. Third, it is generator of employment of many different kinds. So these 3 are the advantages of tourism. These points you can use in your essay also, because these can be a very important points when you have very less points in a particular topic. And on tourism, last year the essay also came. So tourism is contributing 9.4% of total employment of world. 9.4%, that is approximately 1/3 of the total employment of the world is provided by tourism, and also 9.8% of world GDP. So tourism is very important for country. Now, what is this World Tourism Barometer? The UN World Tourism Organization has an index called World Tourism Barometer, and they regularly publish the tourism trends and marketing strategies program, which is aimed at monitoring the short-term evolution of tourism and providing the sector with relevant and timely information. So they what they do, they observe the short-term tourism data from destination countries and also air transport, and then they evaluate the past and current and future performance of the tourism sector of a particular country. Fine. So what does it tells? First of all, in 2015 there has been 1.2 billion tourist arrivals. France gets highest share of international tourist arrivals. That is, many people go to France, like most of the people, not most of the people, you can say that more than any other country. Then US has the highest share of international tourism receipts. That is, most of the money, if you talk about money, the country which earns the most from the tourism is USA. Now, India's share in the international tourist arrivals is only 0.7% compared to 7.4% of France. Suppose, what to say, if you take 1,000 tourists are visiting different countries within 1 year, out of that 74 will be going to France in 2015. 74 went to France and only 7 went to India. Fine. So at least 15 times more people went to France than India. Now even Vietnam and Indonesia has higher share of international tourist arrivals than India. However, in terms of receipts or money they are getting, they have less than India. Fine. Now in 2015, foreign tourist arrivals have decreased in India to 4.45%, and also the foreign exchange earning has decreased by 2.8%. This shows that there has been muted arrivals from the high spending tourists that come mainly from European countries. You can see France, Germany and UK, people have started coming less to India. Now there is high positive growth in foreign tourist arrivals from second top source country, that is Bangladesh, but it is a low spending tourist source, though we don't earn as much as we will earn from the European tourist spending. Fine. Now all this negative gloomy atmosphere in the international scene of tourism has been compensated by the domestic tourism, which is healthy. So it is important contributor and has provided resilience to this sector, and most of the people in India go to Tamil Nadu for tourism, followed by UP. Now what are the initiatives of the government which has been taken for promoting tourism? First of all, government has started the introduction of e-tourist visa facilities for the citizens of 113 countries at 16 airports. That at the airport only you can get the visa. Also, there is revision of visa fees on the principle of reciprocity. That is, if another country is decreasing the fees of visa for Indian tourists, the India will do the same. Fine. Now, two schemes have been launched by the Tourism Ministry. First of all, Swadesh Darshan scheme, and this is the scheme for the development of theme-based tourist circuits, so that they can cater to both mass and niche tourism in a holistic manner. For example, various tourist circuits have been made. For example, they are based on religion, like Buddhist circuit. They are based on the region, like Northeast circuit. They are based on niche, like Himalayan circuit, coastal area circuit. Fine. So many different kind of niche have been created in Buddhist circuit. Most of the cities which have been associated with Buddhism will be included, like Bodh Gaya and Lumbini and what to say Kushinagar. All these will be included in it. So same for the others. Now the second scheme introduced is the Prasad scheme, that is National Mission on Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Augmentation Drive. See the big names which our bureaucrats give to these schemes, so that to make it attractive, and also the word comes in Hindi, like Prasad. Prasad means that holy what to say, the holy food that you get, or laddus that you get, or bundi that you get in the temples and all. So this Prasad scheme have been launched for the development and beautification of pilgrimage sites like Kumbh Mela sites, Ardh Kumbh Mela sites, fair sites, etc., etc. Now, to promote the medical tourism, the government has launched India's healthcare portal and Advantage Healthcare India. Now, Advantage Healthcare India is a conference, and India Healthcare Portal is a comprehensive one-point information source and covers hospital-related and travel-related information on India. Presently, 143 medical facilities and many Ayurveda and medical centers, as well as wellness and rejuvenation centers, have been included in the healthcare portal. You can find the details about the services being provided by these healthcare institutions, etc. Fine. There is Advantage Healthcare India conference, which have been organized by the India at Pragati Maidan to showcase the immense pool of medical capabilities and well as opportunities in the healthcare collaboration between the participating countries. Fine. So these both have been launched for the medical tourism. As you know, medical tourism is largely unregulated, and because in India you can get these surgeries and all done very cheaply, so people come to India for the medical tourism. Now coming to the shipping, about 95% of India's trade by volume, that is approximately total trade of India by volume, is done through ships, but it is only 68% in terms of values. That is, we earn only 68% of the money through it. Now I want to explain you some terms that has been used in the economic survey. First one is the dead weight tonnage. Dead weight tonnage is the how much mass a ship can carry or can carry safely, but it doesn't include the weight of the ship. For example, I will tell you dead weight tonnage. Total mass, if you measure of the ship, total mass minus, total mass means mass of items which have been loaded on the ship plus the mass of the ship minus mass of ship. It is the dead weight tonnage. That is, this can be carried safely. It doesn't mean that you can keep putting various trade items on the ship, even if it capsizes in the sea. So the economic survey has given some data about the deadweight tonnage of the ship, etc. That is not at all required. India has the fleet of 1,246 ships, out of which 369 ships is used to cater to overseas trade and rest in the coastal trade between the states. So despite having one of the largest merchant shipping fleets, India's share in total deadweight tonnage of the world is 0.9% only as on July 2015. So shipping sector has been passing through difficult times in recent years. Now you can see the Baltic Dry Index have declined from the peak of 11,793 in 2008 to 290 in Feb 2016. You can see 290 in Feb 2016. Now what is Baltic Dry Index? Baltic Dry Index is an economic indicator which is issued daily by the London-based Baltic Exchange. You know about the Baltic countries: Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia. Fine, these three countries are Baltic countries. Lithuania, Estonia, because they lie near the Baltic Sea. So this Baltic Dry Index is not only restricted to Baltic Sea countries, but this index provides an assessment of the price of moving of the major raw materials by sea. Fine. So this tells you about the trade which is happening by ships. But you can see for India it has declined to 290. This is not in for India. Overall it has declined to 290. So this is a clear signal of the fragile international trade and shipping situation. So Baltic Dry Index is a freight index, and it is a good estimate of the robustness of trade, which we have seen a decline as we see the decline in the Baltic Dry Index. Now the shipping sector also has to comply with the International Maritime Organization's initiatives for green and sustainable shipping, which further raises the cost for Indian shipping, as they have to buy the pollution control instruments, etc., and also have to take a lot of precautions. Now, there has been sharp decline in the share of Indian ships in the carriage of overseas trade from 1980s to, if we see, till 2014-15. Previously, India's overseas trade contributed by ships is 40% of the total, but now it is only 7.4%. So there is sharp decline in the carriage of India's overseas trade in these 35 years. Now, the existing Indian fleet is also aging, with the average age of the ships has been between 15 to 20 years. That is approximately, you can say 55-56% of these ships are 15 to 20 years or more of age. That is, their minimum of 15 years and more than 20 years also. So this gives us a huge opportunity also, because the prices of the ships are currently very low. That is, the steel which is used to make ships is very low. So we can use this opportunities to buy new generation ships, and hence we can have a robust shipping sector with more margins. Fine. Wait a second, just wait a second, I will rub this off. Now, India is the third on the list of ship recycling or breaking in 2015. Do you know which is the largest ship breaking yard of the world? Alang, ALANG, in Gujarat is the largest ship breaking yard. You should remember. So India is the third on the list of ship breaking or recycling, but the ship breaking sector is in problems, because the average scrap price has been reduced for tankers and bulkers, as cheap Chinese steel has replaced that dismembered steel from ships. That is, when the recycling of ships was happening, steel was being taken out, melted, and then sold again. But Chinese steel, which has been supplied by China, is cheaper than this recycled steel even. So this is creating problems for the ship breaking industry. Fine. Now, also International Maritime Organization has come up with the Hong Kong Convention on Recycling in 2009 to regulate this practice of ship recycling, and the European Union has said that if these ships will comply with this Hong Kong Convention, only then they will provide trade to those ships. Otherwise, they will not give trade to the ships which are not complying with this convention. So you should remember that Hong Kong Convention on Recycling has been signed by various countries and under the auspices of IMO. This can be asked in pre-exam. Fine. Now, what are the measures taken by the our government? First of all, making fuel tax free for all Indian flag coasted vessels. Obviously, when there will be less tax, there will be less cost for the shipping sector. Now, income tax, if benefit is given to the Indian seafarers working on Indian ships, then cost of personnel can become more competitive as compared to the foreign companies. Also, if we should remove the obstacles in the smooth implementation of India controlled tonnage scheme, which allows Indian companies to directly own ships in foreign flags. What do you mean by that? Now, whenever ships are bought, they have to get registered in a country. This registration gives a proof that they are authentic and they are not doing illegal activities. So a ship carries a flag of a particular country. Most often they carry the flag of their own country, that is the company where it is registered, that same country the ship is registered. Fine. So Now the Indian government has given the provision to the country, to the shipping sector or the shipping companies to even register the ship in foreign country. So this has created ease for the companies as they are flexible that wherever they can register. Fine. Now also there has been easing of many procedural compliance issues like ship registration, procuring of ships, chartering permission. Charter is for private use, and also payment of chartering fees has been done online. So these are the steps taken by the government. Also, there has been proposal to increasing the share of coastal or inland waterways transport from 7 to 10% by 2019 to 20. Also our government has launched Sagar Mala project, where has been there is a provision of modernization of ports, so that they can contribute to the growth of the economy. Fine. Also the key elements are then the development of coastal shipping as an end-to-end supply chain, that is, the ships provided to the port are linked with roads and railways, etc. Then there is integration of inland water transport and coastal route and inland, you can understand like this. Suppose this is coast of India. How long is India's coast? It is 7516.6 kilometers approximately. So here these are the coast. Many rivers flow in India like that. So this is inland waterway 3 in Kerala. These are coastal shipping routes, and this is inland, that is through river. Here also we have one inland waterway in Andhra Pradesh, Kakinada region. So these should be linked. So when they are integrated, we can achieve end-to-end supply chain. Also, there should be development of regional centers to generate cargo for coastal traffics. Fine. Also, development of the domestic cruise industry. Cruise are the big ships which are used for like tourism and all. Also, there is need to promote lighthouse tourism. Now, traditionally, lighthouses have been beacons of navigation for marines for centuries. But in 21st century, lighthouses are going through a major transformation as tourist destination. All over the world, lighthouses have enthralled the tourist with their scenic and serene surroundings and rich maritime heritage. So, realizing this immense potential of the lighthouses as attractive tourism destinations, the Ministry of Shipping has decided to give the opportunity to promote the tourism at these sites. Fine. So the main objectives that has been for this tourism is to enhance and develop these lighthouses so that they can become tourist destinations, and also develop the infrastructure to reach these lighthouses. Fine. Now, to develop this inland waterway transport infrastructure, there has been implementation of Jal Marg Vikas project. Now coming to the port services, traffic at the Indian ports increased, with traffic at non-major ports increasing at a faster rate than major ports. You should remember there are 13 major ports and 200 approximately minor ports. So these minor ports have been generating more traffic than these major ports. Now India's maritime agenda, which is for between 2010 and between 2020, has a point that the target for year 2020 for the shipping sector or the ports is 3,130 million tons of port capacity with an investment of approximately 3 lakh crores. Now this port capacity means that how much tons of trade that can happen through a port. Fine. If you calculate the total port, all the ports, how much capacity they have for trade, that is called the port capacity. Fine. Now, more than 50% of this capacity is to created at non-major ports. So they will play a major part in the exports as well as the coastal shipping. So initiatives taken by the government to improve the performance of ports are deepening draft to 18 meters. For example, you can say the Setu Samudram project also involved in deepening the draft. You know, there are some places where the land or the land below the sea is very shallow. Fine. So if the ships pass there, they can have collision with the land below and they can capsize. So to handle this, there has been digging out of the soil out of that land, so that to deepen it, so that to avoid the risk of ships getting drowned. Because large vessels displace a lot of water, so that's why we need to dig till 18 meters deep. So also there has been proposal to establishing dry ports at the Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust and Kandla. Now a dry port is an inland intermodal port which is directly connected by road or rail to a seaport and operating in a center of transshipment of sea cargo to inland destinations. That is, there has been continuity in the transport. There is no break. Fine, because the port has been connected with roads and railways. The third point is financial assistance is to be provided by government to help to procure the pollution response equipment to comply with the IMO Hong Kong Convention. Fine. So there are also 3 port related performance indicators that tell us about the performance of our ports. First of all is average turnaround time. Now average turnaround time you can know by the name is that how much time it takes for ship to come, unload, then reload and then turn back. This is average turnaround time. So it is 2.08 days currently, and also there is average pre-berthing detention time. Now what is this average pre-berthing detention time? This is the time taken by a ship from its arrival at the anchorage, that is where it stops for a time being, and reported to the reporting station till it arrives the operational berth. I will explain you just now. You might have been confused. First of all, there's been lot of ships coming to a port. So there are lot of berths where the ships will unload. Suppose the previous ship is waiting, so the next ship can't come. If the previous ship goes, then only the next ship will come. So how much time this takes that for the next ship to come and go move back is pre-berthing detention time. That is before reaching this operational part, how much time it will take or have to wait. Fine. This is pre-berthing detention time. It is 0.17 day currently. Now if you see the table, in 2001-2, 4.2 days were taken for the turnaround and average pre-berthing time is 1.2 days. That is, ships have to wait for 1.2 days even to reach the operational berth where they have to unload the cargo. Now it has been reduced to 2.08 days and 0.17 days. You know, even for China and Singapore etc., and even for Sri Lanka, they do in less than 1 day. Turnaround is in less than 1 day, and so that they have huge capacity to trade through shipping. As quickly as you do, as much trade as you can do. Fine. Now coming to the third terminology is the average output per ship berth day is 12,570 tons in 2015-16. Now what is this average output per ship berth day? This is the total tonnage or total weight handled and distributed over total number of berth days. Berth, you know what is berth? A ship is allotted a place in the port or a dock. It is called berthing of ship. Now it is the average output per ship berth day is total weight handled and distributed over total number of berth days. जब तक वो वहाँ पर है तब तक वो कितना weight handle करती है. It is average output per ship berth day. Previously, it can handle in 2001. It can only handle 6,961 tons, but now it can handle 12,570 tons, approximately twice of the 2000. In 15 years, the average output per ship birthday has increased by double. So thank you everyone. Please like, comment and subscribe to www.decipheris.com. Please like our Facebook page.